So when I do shows, two of the most common questions I get are, what are the materials and how did you start making these? The first question is easy. It's concrete. It's a mix that is often used in construction. It's Portland cement, sand, and vermiculite. The second question is a little bit harder to explain because it goes back, way back, like 25 years. So here's the story of how I got started. I've always been really interested in human behavior and just trying to figure out why we did the things that we did. And I read a ton of psychology and self help books and then started dabbling in spiritual literature. So I guess it's no surprise that after art school, I ended up as an art teacher, facilitator in various nonprofit agencies. It was great because in these settings, the focus is almost exclusively on the process. I became very interested in art as a tool for healing and gaining insight and really wanted to explore that further. So I decided to go ahead and on my own explore creativity and art as a tool for my own healing. That decision sparked a 2 decade long process of keeping an art journal. Before I could start doing art therapy on myself, I had to create some ground rules. These are the ones I created. Honesty. I wanted my drawings to be honest, and to keep them honest, I was going to keep them private. Clarity. I wanted them to clearly communicate. Clarity would be more important to me than aesthetics. Simplicity. I wanted to use I wanted to keep my materials simple. Just use a pen or pencil or maybe crayons so I wouldn't get caught up in technique. And emotions. Emotions were the focus. So I started to honestly and simply draw my emotions. From the very beginning, I was blown away. My drawings were communicating to me, waking me up to what was beneath the surface. Sometimes these emotions were joyful and celebratory, and sometimes they were not. I noticed that it took some real courage to sit and draw heavy emotions, but it was worth it because if I got it right, if I was honest, I experienced freedom and a complete shift in my energy. And if I wasn't completely free, I was in a great position to imagine and draw a different scenario. I found it absorbent and enjoyable, and the visual vocabulary that was being developed felt both personal and iconic. I knew I found gold and I wanted to develop it. This is the direction I wanted my art to go, but no matter what materials I tried, I could not liberate the spirit of the journals from its pages. But somehow, almost unconsciously, I really don't know how, my fondness for statuaries started coming to the surface. I started to look at them and wonder how they were made. I went online and I explored techniques. Well, I ended up developing a process where I would pour concrete and 6 to 8 hours later I would carve it. So I was carving the concrete while it was still soft. Right away I was hooked. Carving into the concrete felt exactly like drawing in the art journals. I was able to continue developing the imagery from the journals. Over time, I noticed that my focus shifted from the struggle to the moments of freedom. I did not need to make the struggles concrete, just the feelings of peace and kindness that were the byproduct of the work. So today I'm still refining and developing the images. In order to get more details, I will often add clay to the concrete form before making molds. I still take the concrete sculpture out of the molds before it cures so I can hand carve the details and work the surface. So I love concrete, and I love that the word concrete is used as a metaphor, and that it implies that something is real and solid. And when we say we want to make something concrete, we are trying to take it from an abstraction to something real and tangible, and therefore something, in my mind, understandable. So I hope you liked my story. That's a story on how I got started making the Garden Guardians. And thanks for watching.